Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and we get into the Celtics. They wrapped up. Unfortunately, their season wrapped up last week. It seems like it was weeks ago, but it was really only last week that the NBA Finals were finally set. Cavaliers winning that series 4-1. They'll face the Warriors. We'll talk about that later, and obviously make our picks for the Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week. But let's get into the Celtics season. We kind of knew it all along. They weren't going to beat the Cavaliers. Celtics weren't. They avoided the sweep, which was good. Lost 4-1. Right. A grade for this Celtics team for this season. Going into it, what did you expect and what they did? How do you react to the season?
So to me, going into the season, I think their ceiling really was exactly how they finished.
Right, yeah.
They met the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. They won one game, avoided the sweep. To me, that was really the best you could hope for.
Right.
I mean, to me, it wasn't a disappointment. It kind of felt that way a little bit sometimes when the Cavs really blew them out.
Right. Some of the scores.
It didn't feel great, and I know Isaiah Thomas was injured toward the end, and they actually won that game without him. But still, I mean, I think it was a successful season. Definitely was. A lot of people look at Danny Ainge and kind of say, why didn't you pick up a rebounder or somebody big to kind of fill that center spot? But to me, even if they had done that, beating the Cavs. And then even if they did, beating the Warriors, it was going to be almost impossible. So I think Danny Ainge did a good job of not trading any of his young players, waiting for the future, trying to maximize value. So to me, it was a very successful season. I guess I'd give it an A.
Yeah. No, it was a good season. And that's the other side of the coin where it was like, could they have gone somebody and would it have made, how many games would it have been different? Because they got the number one seed, so they did what they needed to do in the regular season.
Exactly.
And then would one player have been able to swing the series 3 games to beat the Cavs 4-3 and then beat the Warriors. But this offseason, and we'll get into that more down the road, the draft coming up in a few weeks, but this offseason is the big one because now it looks like they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have the pieces in place, Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, they have the number 1 pick. This is the offseason where they need to make a move, and then next year is going to be more pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been talks of Paul George and Jimmy Butler they've talked about for a while. This offseason definitely going to be big. I mean, I think one question is what is going to happen with Isaiah Thomas? A lot of people are saying maybe you should trade him or maybe trade the number 1 pick away and try to get one of those big stars or just draft who's probably going to be Markelle Fultz.
Fultz looks like,
So, I mean, this offseason, there's going to be a lot of changes. It's going to be exciting. One of the bigger offseasons I think they've had.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been thinking about lately is I think Kevin Durant, after this season, he could opt out of his contract, I believe it is.
Yes.
And if the Cavs beat the Warriors in the finals, that might, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think if I was him, I'd stay there because it looks like they're going to be a powerhouse for a long time.
Right.
But if they lose, that might change his mind. Yeah. And if he does opt out, and he wants to go to a championship team, and it's not going to be the Cavs, then it's
and even if they win, and that segues us right into the NBA Finals preview, Cavs and Warriors starting Thursday night, and even if the Warriors do win, maybe Kevin Durant says, hey, I won my title, I'm going to get out now.
Yeah.
So he's got an opt-out this year, after this year, and his contract's up after next year. So he only signed, I think he only signed a 2-year contract with an opt-out year because I think he wanted to go in, win a championship, and then go somewhere else. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he goes back to Oklahoma City and does the whole LeBron thing, leaves, builds a super team, wins a championship, and then comes back to Oklahoma City. Wouldn't that be something?
It would be something, and it's crazy to think that James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant all played together.
Before super teams were a thing.
I mean, I think James Harden wasn't quite an MVP player yet. And maybe even Russell Westbrook. I mean, they were still top 15 players, but I mean, those 3 guys, how did they not win a championship?
And then they kind of all went their own separate ways. Not all at the same time, but so far. Now, Russell's the only guy. Okay, quickly, we got to head to break, but we won't give our picks because we're doing that at the end. The preview of this series, Cavs and Warriors. Are people unfairly counting the Cavaliers out, or do you think really that this Warriors team is so good the Cavs don't have a chance?
I think they're definitely unfairly counting the Cavs out. They're not. I mean, I think this is going to be a very evenly matched series. I think the Warriors have the advantage. But to me, I mean, it could come down to Game 6, Game 7. I think it's going to be a very exciting series.
It's going to be a great series. I think I agree with you that it looks like very lopsided, but when you have LeBron James on your team, anything can happen, as we know. And we'll make our picks later in the show. And when we come back, we'll talk about LeBron James. Where does he rank in our top 5 NBA players of all time? We'll take a break. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.